Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. We got to talk about Nvidia, my chlamydia. So Nvidia is very popular. Why? Because the stock went up, 225% in the last year. And they just released earnings, and everybody's watching Nvidia because everybody wants to know, is AI, my hot guy, the future, bro? Because if Nvidia keeps growing, I guess the AI revolution is in full swing. So let's go ahead and check out the earnings of Nvidia. Now, the first thing I've noticed is that, at least as of now, I don't see any major blowouts in regards to the market's expectations. The stock was down 1% during the day, and it's down 1.5% after hours. Not a destructive earnings, at least based on the market movements, and not a 10x by index. But we're going to go ahead and just look at the fundamentals. Now, first off, everybody knows Nvidia is expensive. And there's some geniuses out there, specifically Paul Gabriel, who thinks just because a stock has a high PE ratio and a high price to sales, that it's automatically expensive, and that if you short the stock, you can make a ton of money. That is a foolish rich kid's thing. You cannot do that. Because stocks that are expensive may be expensive for a reason, and maybe they can keep going up. So I wouldn't worry too much about the PE being high, or the forward PE, or the dividend yield, or this or that. Because stock prices are all about future expectations, not the past, okay? So let's go ahead and check out the earnings. So here's NVIDIA's income statement for the 3 months ended October 29th, 2023. This is a comparative income statement so we can see the growth. First of all, look at the revenue growth. Insane. That's mind-boggling. Normally, if you see revenue growth like this, normally it's because of like an acquisition. They've tripled their revenue in a year. In 1 year, look at the cost of revenue. Their cost of revenue, the cost of the chips, basically, and the other products, services they provide, is not growing nearly as fast. Look at the comparison versus the revenue. What does this mean? This means insane profit. So the gross margin, which is just their profit from chips before you factor in research and development, selling, general, administrative, is 74%. That is an insanely high gross profit. Let's look at their other expenses. R&D is up a little bit, nothing crazy. Sales, general, and admin is up a tad bit. And operating income, this is their profit from their core operations, is $10 billion on $18 billion of revenue. This is one of the most insane operating margins I have ever seen in my very short years of looking at stocks. 57.5% operating margin. That is, like, who has that kind of operating margin? Seriously. Who? NVIDIA's profits have exploded like a nuclear bomb. That's right. That is, I can't emphasize to you how amazing of a profit margin that is. Now, if you look at the historical margins of NVIDIA, I bet you they aren't 57%. So, yep. Did they already update this? No. So the operating profit for the prior quarter was 50%, and they're continuing to produce stellar operating margins. But if you look historically, they've been much lower. I mean, they're still great, fantastic margins, but they've been in the 20s and the 30s. Now we're at 50. Okay, this is insane. This is craziness. This is out of this world, blowing my mind. So right off the bat, their income statement, there's literally nothing, like, what can you say that's bad about this? 3xing profit or 3xing revenue. I don't know even how many X's profit, probably like over 20x maybe, almost 20x profit. This is mind-boggling, okay? But the question is, how long will it continue? Is the market overpricing in the future growth? Are they underpricing it? Who knows? That's the danger, okay? You can't just look at this and be like, oh, their profits went up, bro. So it's good. It's buy the stock, bro. Yeah, that's why the stock is expensive, okay? The market is generally smart. Generally, it's smart. And when the market is pricing a stock at 120 PE, it's for a reason. This is it, okay, Paul Gabriel? You see this change in profit? See this change in revenue? Yeah. Did you factor that in, you massive freaking dork? Okay, let's go ahead and... I mean, we can almost skip the balance sheet. I think they're going to be fine financially. Yeah, I'm not worried about their balance sheet. Let's go look at their statement of cash flows. So their statement of cash flows is another mind-boggling thing. There's a bunch of crap on here, okay? What I want you to focus on, number one, is 9 months. So this is for 9 months, ended October 29, 2023. And we're going to look at operating cash flow. This is their cash flow from their core business. This does not include buying property, plant, and equipment, issuing shares, paying off debt, paying dividends. That's not factored into operating cash flow. It's the core operating cash that is generated from the core business that Nvidia does. Look at the increase in operating cash flow. It's grown even faster than, well, not as fast as profits, but it's grown faster than revenue. So their revenue is going bananas. And their margins and cash flow are going even more bananas by huge extreme degrees. Their operating cash flow is so solid, $16 billion, that in not those 9 months, they literally could have taken that cash flow and just basically paid off all their debt, all their long-term debt. Like, that's why I'm not even worried about the balance sheet. It's like, okay, wow, oh man, they're about to go bankrupt any day now. They're fine. But just think about, like, you have debt, long-term debt. Let's say you have a mortgage, and then you generate so much cash that you could pay it off within a year. That's basically where they're at with their long-term debt. That's craziness, okay? Now, the last thing I wanted to look at was the disaggregated revenue under Note 15, which is all the way down here. I love how they just hide it away. So this thing hurts my freaking head looking at this, okay? But this is breaking up the revenue into different categories: computer networking and graphics, and then all other, with a consolidated or the combined revenue at the end. So you should be able to add these two up, and it equals that. So the revenue for the 3 months ended October 29, 2023, $14.6 billion for computer and networking versus 3.8 the prior year. This is in 3 months. 3.8 to 14.6. For graphics, it went from 2 to 3. So all of this insane growth is coming from the computer and networking category, 100%. Now, both categories are profitable, all right? They're both very profitable categories. But all the growth basically is coming from computer and networking. So this is the one you want to watch. Definitely. You want to watch them both, obviously. But this is a massive part of their freaking revenue, okay? If you look at it by region, U.S. growth, it went from $2 billion to $6 billion of revenue. Taiwan, 1 to 4. China, 1 to 4. And Singapore, 536 to $7.2 billion. Now, funny enough, other countries. So basically, they're selling to China, China's long-lost province, and Singapore, okay? That's freaking crazy. This is crazy, crazy, crazy revenue growth. So what are my thoughts? Am I touching this stock? I'm not buying it individually. I'm glad I have it in my BT ETF. I believe in total market indexing, and this is the reason why, because it's hard to predict this stuff. But I'm not buying it individually. Because like I said, you could see insane revenue growth, and then all of a sudden, what if the AI revolution just peters out, or something happens, or, China invades Taiwan, or whatever? Oh, well, Nvidia might get its cheeks absolutely clapped, okay? But I think it's funny, like, everybody's scared of Chinese stocks, right? Like, oh, Chinese stocks, bro. Chinese stocks, bro. Taiwan, bro. And then look at all the revenue that Nvidia generates from China and Taiwan. US stocks, bro. So that's my opinion. And then there's more disaggregated revenue here. Data center, gaming, basically there's revenue growth in every category except OEM and other. But data center is the big dog, okay? So great earnings. What's going to happen in the future? I have no idea. But this company, as of right now, is like blowing it out of the water, okay? So good job, Paul Gabriel. Have a wonderful day. Cheers.